طيب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. So we want this sitting بإذن ta'ala to be a Q&A marathon dedicated to the RipRight Hadith disciples on the right side and on the right side as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Alhamdulillah. May Allah preserve you guys, give you good, more good in this world and the next. Jazakumullah khairan. We try our best to connect, stay connected, be connected, right? And always try to be disconnected from anything which we shouldn't be connected with or to. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Bismillah. Let it rip.
Good, you got something? I got so many questions. Yeah. I gotta go in the archives. Notes.
Which mic is he holding?
Don't know. It's just a speak. Can you take something from online first?
This is just you, Sheikh.
Just us.
Yeah, we made this.
Subhanallah.
Yeah,
I would have been more prepared.
Yeah, he killed us.
Bad in between.
Yes.
It happens.
You know who to blame.
Yeah, may Allah help you.
I mean,
Yeah, I was going to make a sit-in just for you, brothers.
Subhanallah.
Catering to your questions or concerns, whether it's pertaining to your movement, what you got going on, or just in general. And alhamdulillah, if there's nothing, then I'm sure maybe
No, there's a lot.
because from online it wasn't that long. So if there, maybe,
I got a few.
yeah. Sure.
All right, so there's a lot's been going on dealing with obviously the calisthenic community because that's what I'm involved in.
Okay.
So no different than the
Dawah
politics.
wars.
Yeah, it's the same situation.
Human behavior.
Yes. So we having obviously issues. For a long time, videos been shot about me in many different regards, name calling, everything. I never responded for like maybe a year. And now I started to respond in videos. And the response is actually going towards another Muslim. Like, so what is the best course of action if I'm trying to still keep it, I want to say Islamic as much as possible, no name calling, but focus more on the fitness aspect, but then also correct what he's saying about me? Should I keep going back and forth in videos or should I just...
Clear. Well, first and foremost is, barakallahu feekum, you can't please everybody. That's a general principle. You can't please everyone. No matter how hard you try, you can't. It's impossible. So you're going to be the fool for trying to make everyone agree with you, smile, laugh, and give you a thumbs up. No matter how Islamically compliant your channel or content is, somebody's going to get mad and upset. No matter how much you try to appeal to different people's tastes and levels, somebody's going to get mad and upset. Someone's going to feel left out. That's human nature. Human nature. So I do hadith explanation. Someone want to say, oh, do other than hadith, please. All right, no problem. We do something other than hadith. Oh, we want hadith. Wise man once said, who's this wise man? You're quoting the kuffar. You have some people, I don't want to call them trolls. You know what I'm saying? Only Allah knows best, who lives under bridges, who, Allah, right. But they come on the Instagram and they say, oh, you need to quote the Salaf, brother. Stop quoting these wise men. I can't win. No matter what I do, somehow somebody's going to be what?
Displeased.
Somebody's going to be angry. So therefore, you make your intention sincere for Allah. You try your best to make sure that what you're doing is correct and valid and strong and healthy and keep it moving.
No.
The Arabs, they say, إن الكلاب لتنبح والركب يسير. That the dogs bark and the caravan what? Keeps moving. The dog is going to bark at the train, but the train is moving. So keep your train moving. Keep your train moving. You know, we can't accuse people. We don't know what's in people's hearts. We know a lot of people are jealous and they do suffer from envy. They see you trying to do something positive. They see you with some type of talent, some type of skill. People like you and accept you, popularity. They're going to feel insecure. And they're going to try to attack you and claw you and bring you down. And in most cases, people, they want to mask their jealousy and their insecurity with Islam. And it got nothing to do with Islam. It's not about Islam. It's about you being jealous and you being insecure, you being mad, instead of saying, yo, that's dope. Alhamdulillah. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. You doing something that I did before, or I can't do, whatever, I'm gonna support you. But not too many of us can actually come face to face with that. And we see someone else doing something positive and good, we have to find a way to claw them and pull them down. And of course, the best way is to Islamicize the envy. Oh, your order is exposed. Maybe it is. Give advice. Jazakallah khair, ya akhi. I appreciate your videos, but you shouldn't be uncovered like that. You could listen, or maybe not. But at least I gave my what? I gave my advice. Or enjoy the good and forbid the evil. That doesn't mean I'm haunting, I'm hawking you, following you, stalking every single video. Oh, brother, your abs, you're ripped, you're something is what? Something is off. So you don't pay attention to that negative energy. Tell them thank you. You keep it moving. If it's another Muslim, if they find something wrong with you, listen to what they got to say. Maybe it is true. And if not, if you disagree or they're saying something which is nonsense, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Turn that, negativity into positivity. That's my advice. Obviously, the internet is full of, reputations, not just among Muslims or Salafis or whatever. People of all walks of life have the refutation culture. All walks of life. There's reputations. People making job on this one, that one. That's how it is. So you get caught up, you get, consumed by that stuff. We all know what happens. Another very important piece of advice I would say for my short career in that field is that people will attack you, and the moment you go after them, self-defense, you take off the gloves, they're gonna cry and play the victim. As we see now happening. We can bomb, we can assassinate, we can kill civilians. How is it lawful for you to go after a scientist, a chemist? This is a civilian. Regardless of what program he's a civilian. But they did it. One person killed, one building destroyed. So many people, Allah tells us to ask him to guide us to the straight path, the path of those whom he has blessed, not those who earned his wrath and those who went astray. Why do we say that every day? Because people continually imitate and mimic and copy that ummah. So many people, they criticize people the moment we say something back, and they play the victim. They put a victim card. Oh, the brother's attacking me. The brother's defaming me. But bro, you just call me, a list of names. So the moral of the story is it's not even worth the fight. That's the point I'm trying to get to. You're not even fighting a worthy adversary. You're not even battling, going back and forth. Okay, who can do the most reps? Who got they can't even stand toe to toe with you. So it's a waste of what?
Time.
A waste of time. This is what you said. This is the answer to it. This is the response. This is the proof. We didn't do this. No. And then keep it moving. If you want to be down, bismillah. Ahlan wa sahlan. I'll give you some tea, a thobe. And if not, then what? Keep it moving. And as the poet said, do what? He said, do your thing or what? And then stay what? Stay out of my what?
My way.
Stay out of my way. Hopefully we don't clash and meet up. I'll do my thing, you do yours, and make sure that you what? Stay out of my way. It's just that simple. Okay. Allah knows best.
Okay. So obviously from starting with the RipRight HadithDisciple, the content has definitely changed from the beginning until now. So what I've noticed, that we didn't really get a lot of youth. And I noticed like the rap and the industry kind of had a chokehold on the youth, right? So I decided to make different styles of content, more flashy, cars, money, to kind of attract them. But we have a lot of Muslims saying you shouldn't do this type of content. But I'm noticing that when it comes to the youth, obviously even the Muslim youth, it's something that they're attracted to. So I was trying to show the image of you can do this as a Muslim and it can be halal. What do you think? Do you think is...
Absolutely, I agree with that. Of course, there are limits. And of course, there are things which are going to be subjective. We both agree on the tea, but you think this, this is too sweet. But we both agree that there could be some sweetener in the tea. We both agree that if we're trying to sell tea, that the tea has to be, for most people, has to be a little sweet. Some people are tea enthusiasts, tea purists, no sugar, no honey, no agave, no doubt. But if we want to sell it. And with some commercial appeal, the average person is going to need what?
Some sweetness.
Some sweetness. But how much? He says white sugar, I say agave. He says, we may differ on that. So I don't think it should be no one attacking you or criticizing you in theory. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, permissible, as long as they're permissible. And there's nothing wrong with speaking the language of the people. Let's keep it real. These are the people that are monopolizing our youth's minds. These influencers, rappers, singers, dancers, athletes, whatever they are. So you gotta fight fire with fire. And oftentimes it goes back to that sad part of human behavior, what Shakespeare, or some call Sheikh Zubair, called the green-eyed monster. He was talking about a cat and the viciousness of a cat with his prey. You ever see a cat catch a mouse?
No.
Cat is scornful, spiteful, cruel. It doesn't just kill the mouse, it plays with the mouse, it allows the mouse to get away, it flips it in the air. The mouse suffers for hours. And then when the mouse is dead and lifeless, he throws the mouse in front of you. You know, aren't you proud of me? So Sheikh Zubair, or some say Shakespeare, and his name may have been Sheikh Zubair, and then it went into Shakespeare. He wrote that play and he spoke on the greed-eyed monster. That's where that term comes from. Meaning envy and jealousy is what? It's a beast. It's a nasty, cruel, what? Vicious monster. So most of us suffer from insecurities and envy. So we have to find something to point out, to criticize, and to claw, to scratch you. This is Quran and Sunnah. This is good. This is positive. Yo, that's crazy. That's nice. That's it. But you gotta find that. So oftentimes people, they have to find something to criticize because they suffer from that green-eyed monster disease. And included in that is, oh, you shouldn't be talking about this. You shouldn't be interviewing. Okay, why not? You're against Quran and Sunnah? This is what the people want to hear. We're trying to put an Islamic spin on it. We're trying to Islamicize it. We're trying to show the people that certain things are okay. You want to just sit and lecture, talk to the youth, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to follow you. So oftentimes people, they live in an unrealistic world, a fantasy world, a world of, delusional, delulu, whatever you want to call it. And their envy blinds them. I'm mad that you're doing it. You got more followers, you got more viewers, you're better, you're naturally more talented than me, so I have to find some way of bringing you down. Nine out of 10 times, people who say anything about you is based off of envy. That's the sad reality. And when that 1%, when there is some valid criticism, or even a hater may give you valid criticism, you do what? Listen, take it in the air. Thank you. Enemies are teachers in disguise. So I'll never forget that. That's a rule in life. An opponent is a teacher in disguise. Sharpen up. So therefore, you don't want to make it or turn it into a thing in which you're totally dunyafying everything. You don't want to turn it into a thing which is a thin line between a thug or a rapper or this or whatever and a Muslim that's trying to be pious and righteous. But there are going to be parallels and similarities. If you like to dress nice, you like to look fly, alhamdulillah. I got muscles, I work out. This non-Muslim or this, influencer, he got muscles. Hey, it is what it is. This 16-year-old Muslim, youth, he's at home, looking in the mirror. I want to flex. I want to be fly. But at the same time, I want to pray. I love Allah. I want to be a Muslim. So therefore, I can be ripped. I can have muscles and what?
Pray and be a Muslim.
Alhamdulillah. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing what? رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً. No, there's nothing wrong with that. And anyone saying that there is, they either don't know what they're talking about, but in most cases, they have some type of subtle, dry hate. Dry hate. Subtle, dry hate. Wallahu ta'ala. There are many forms of it. Don't ever forget that. Al-hasad fi kulli jasad. Fal-karimu yukhfihi wal-la'imu yubdihi. Envy is in every human body. The noble person, the good, solid person, he suppresses and he stifles his envy. He asks Allah to protect him from it. And the wretch, he what? Brings it out. He spews it out on you. But oftentimes what? So, Jazakallah khairan, brother. That was a great talk, but can you hold the microphone up like this? Because such and such. It's not just they're trying to give you constructive criticism, but they're trying to find what? Dry hate. You just threw a no-hitter, literally, as a pitcher. Next time you should tie your cleats this way. Instead of them saying, damn, yo, that was crazy, that fastball you just threw. What did the cleats guy didn't even do anything?
Yeah.
So beware of dry hate. Beware of dry hate.
If two individuals obviously put up some money for a battle competition, right? Some people are under the opinion that because these individuals are working at, trying to beat each other, or, their performance based, that it's not really gambling, that it's permissible to do so. Is this correct?
Anytime two parties put in money, only one party receives the pot or the purse, that's gambling.
No.
Because it's definite loss with possible gain.
Gain.
And then there's the enmity and the spite in the heart. You cheated. The judge favored you. I trashed you.
No.
But the judge was blind. So it causes what?
Envy. No.
And then you start fighting and arguing. So whatever the scenario, or whatever the situation is going to fall under gambling, in which two people put in, one person leaves. An external party sponsors, and they reward the winner. That's totally what?
Different.
That's a different discussion. But you put in money, and you definitely or possibly could get it or lose, and that's a different story. At the end of the day, once again, many people on the internet, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, X, whatever you want to call it, whatever platform, they become Islamic scholars overnight. And in most cases, they become Islamic scholars when there's dry, subtle hate. This person is doing this, no discussion. You doing something that they can't do. Oh, brother, you shouldn't sit like this, and this you can't. You shouldn't. But this woman is here doing this. You say anything about that? Nothing. Silent. Crickets. You working out. You doing this. Oh, brother, you should cover your chest. Maybe you should cover your chest. That's not the point. The point is, if you want to apply the Islamic rules, then they have to be what?
Yeah.
This brother playing basketball and this guy doing the reps in the park. So beware. It goes back to the dry heat. We have someone who is our consultant. It don't gotta be me, Sheikh Abdul Raqib. We keep him at our hip. I got him on speed dial. Sheikh, what's the ruling on this? We about to do a program. Can Muslims do this? Can we have nasheeds? Can we do poetry? Do I have to cover my shoulders? Is it permissible for me to show my abs? Blah, 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 blah. He's the student of knowledge. He's the imam. He's the teacher. He's the scholar. He told us, and that's what we're doing.
No.
Any problem or discussions or disagreement, you can what?
Talk to
Talk to
him.
him.
Yeah, and then you get tough Islamically what? With him. But people, they want to pick on people that they know they can pick on. And that's an unfortunate reality. If you look at all of these problems, they all go back to human behavior. And subhanAllah, you just look at what the Quran says about the nafs. How many verses Allah talks about what?
No.
The nafs is the center of all problems, is the nafs. The ego, the envy, the jealousy, the fear, the lust, the insecurity. Wow. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, as far as doing collaborations, we have people like that are Muslim, however they're maybe rappers, non-Muslim. Now doing a collaboration kind of like it's a rock and a hard place because their pages, even though they might be Muslim, are still filled with
Stuff that's un-Islamic.
really un-Islamic. So now when you're doing a collab with them and you're putting them on their page, it's like you're kind of like directing.
Clear. Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily. The people who follow you, they know what you stand for. They know your values. And this, I think, is what they call a straw man argument. You can't go to this lecture, you can't do this collaboration because the people may start following him. That's not what, it's not true. Anybody who's watching you, listening to you, they know what you stand for. They know your values, they know your aqidah. You happen to meet with this person and be on a, they don't mean, oh, let's now go and listen. Nah. I don't accept that premise. Yeah, I don't accept that premise, let alone the fact that we work together without which we agree. If it's a rapper or whatever, talking about something positive for the youth, my experiences, drugs, this and that, and we happen to come together, then so be it. But you guys make sure that you make your disclaimers, whether it's before, during, or after. So you guys do a video on RipRight. We don't condone this, nor do we promote that. So if you see me with this person, it doesn't mean that I what?
Co-sign.
I don't mean that. He got tattoos, unfortunately, but at the same time, right now we're discussing working out. this technique, this Russian barrel, this, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It don't mean that I agree or promote what?
What he's doing.
It doesn't mean that. So clarity is going to be through you guys' actions, through your mission statements. What we're upon, that's the whole purpose of the brand. They're supposed to see that logo, and the moment they see their logo, it's like what?
They know what it is.
It's the bat sign. I remember back in the day, Batman,
Nah.
Commissioner Gordon. The moment you see the bat sign in the sky, what does that mean?
Thomas,
The,
he's
the
on
dark,
way.
right? The vigilante, crime, right?
Everybody high.
Who are the Dark Knights? That's right. Joker, Killer Croc, Penguin, okay, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, all right? All of those villains, the moment you see the bat sign, what does that mean?
He's coming.
That's right. Hide, go run and duck. So the strength of your brand, what does it stand for? What are the values of RipRight HadithDisciple? Women, prostitution, homosexuality, zina, music, drugs? Of course not. Look at all the videos we put out against that stuff. So if you happen to be in a situation, which is why you go to that and ignore what?
Everything else.
When you clearly see the logo. And if it's advice to give, then what? Give advice. Jazakallah khairan. It was a very beneficial video. I just don't think it's a good idea for you to,
Collaborate.
yeah, he's a little, that's too far left. And obviously that's going to be potato, but
Top.
it's going to be subjective.
No.
You and we may disagree. I think you should do it. The benefit, the maslaha is rajiha here. He got a huge audience of youth. They see us Muslims, they respect Muslims. Let alone they may accept Islam. He may say, we'll pass on this one. And this is a problem with Dawah today. People, they turn matters of ijtihad and a subjective opinion into hardcore stone cold consensus. And hence shame the person that they're hating on. It's a matter of subjectivity. I don't agree. I don't agree. But under any circumstance that you're just doing something which is baseless and has no foundation to it. But I thought it was what? I didn't think it was a good move. But he clearly had his what?
Reason.
He has his reason. He has his proof. Most importantly, what does he stand for? What does his Instagram page look like? And the last thing I'll say, you look at different people, they make these comments on these videos. You go on their pages and they're the most un-Islamic people. Wallahi. This is a person that gets on your Instagram or your YouTube. You're from Ahlul Bidah, you're an innovator. And you click on this thing, only Allah knows what you're going to find. People, they talk about, let's say, for example, and it's just an example, the beard or polygamy or Palestine, whatever. You click on their page, crazy. But you wage a war against something that's from the deen.
No.
So what can you do, man? What can you do? We have our Islamic consultants. They gave us the green light. It's not clearly haram. It's a benefit. What? Bismillah. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khair. You got something else?
Yeah, so in regards to like collaborations, there's a lot of people that comment on the videos talking about non-Muslims and even Muslims who are doing collaborations with us who are not covered in the outer. Is that responsibility fall on us for posting the video, or is that on them?
Somebody who's on your
Platform.
platform or collabing with you and their order isn't covered. If it's on your page, then you bear some responsibility.
No.
And that's simple and easy way of getting out of that, if you ask me. You can make a disclaimer in the beginning of the video, or you could blur it out or speed it up or whatever the case may be. And you just make a disclaimer. Look, this video was shot, such and such, such and such. The purpose of it is such and such. We don't condone this. Our order is covered. Anyone that's going to pick and find fault with something after that clearly is what? They're looking for a reason to pull you down. And it goes back to the dry hit. Once again, this person got their knees out in the park or your chest is out. On my channel is, need I say it on YouTube? My history, the stuff, my liked videos is fawahish. You're not keeping it real. You're not being honest. You just got dry hate. But yes, you do bear somewhat. To answer the question, you do bear some responsibility. Through disclaimer, through blurring it out, through editing it, whacking it. Yes. There's no question about that. Wallahu a'lam.
What is your personal opinion about a Muslim man wearing a kufi and a thobe throughout life in general?
My personal opinion about a Muslim man wearing a kufi and a thobe. Well, I mean, actions speak louder than words, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. I never ever once claimed to be perfect or anything close to it. Never ever. Many people, they think, oh, you this. I never said I was perfect. Never ever once did I say what?
He was perfect.
Never. I never claimed to be. So therefore, I try to do whatever I can. This is how I dress. If you don't want to wear a kufi, you don't want to wear a thobe, there's nothing wrong with that as long as your order is what?
Covered.
Covered. If you want to wear a turban or dashiki or shalwar khamis or a Gambian or Nigerian, whatever cultural reference, something that's covering your body, something that gives you more shyness or dignity and is a symbol of Islam. And if that's not the case, you should wear pants and a shirt. Khayran.
No.
What I think, what I feel, yes, a man's head should be covered in public all the time. And a man should be distinguished as a Muslim all of the time, whether it's with a thobe or
Without a thobe.
without a thobe. For me, the thobe is comfortable. I got pockets, books, pens, anything other, paraphernalia that I might need in my pocket. Do you understand? My order's covered. I never got to worry about no issues in ruku or sujood. You know what I'm saying? Why not? And obviously, when you dress like that, there are benefits that Allah brings you. And that's a proven fact. You agree with that or not, Tola? People will come up to you, ask you a question. People will tell you, hey, the masjid is this way, the qibla is that way. I remember one time, I'll never forget this, I was in Qatar. This was years ago in the airport. Walking through the airport, my first time in the airport in Qatar. Big airport, this was way back in the day.
Doha?
Yeah, way back in the day. So I was hungry. I went to the food court. That was measly type of stuff. I was layover. I was tired. I was hungry. And as I was walking, I saw this African guy. He walked up to me. He said, "Assalamu alaikum." And I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for the restaurants, da da da." He looked me up and down. He said, you want a real meal. You want some meat in the rice. You want lamb,
Yeah.
He told me where to go, da da da. The food was crazy. More of the story is that he figured out by the way I was dressing what type of, person I was. Now, I'm not saying that you can't eat French fries and chicken fingers. You get the point I'm trying to make.
No.
Is that people oftentimes help you out what?
Based
Because
on
of
how you
the
No
look.
question.
Yeah.
Or you may feel too shy. Let's keep it real. We're all adults. Let's say it's a woman, Shaitan is calling you, whispering to you. She's, You may,
Got the
I
toe.
can't.
Yeah. Right.
I can't embarrass Islam.
No.
But pants fitted,
I'm going at that.
Yeah.
Anything
Anything goes.
or you may slip and she may say, "Ain't you a
Muslim.
I thought you was a saint. You ain't supposed to be over here, worrying about this." Right? So there's advantages. That's the what? The moral of the story.
No.
And a big advantage, I will say this online, that many people underestimate, as the Quran tells us, لِيَغِيظَ بِهِمْ الْكُفَّارِ, enraging them. And when you dress like that, you represent your Islam, your religion, which people are scared and afraid, and taxi drivers and no one wants to be around. You dress like that. How dare you? You have the audacity to walk down the street like that, dressed like that? That does what?
Enrages them.
No question. And obviously the Quran teaches us is that is maqsood shar'i. That's something that Allah wants from us is to do what?
Enrages for
So that's food for what?
thought.
You see how people look at you like that? Like, no question. No question. Wallah.
I got one final question.
No, fuck
What's the ruling on wearing multiple rings on the same hand?
Wearing multiple rings on the same hand. In general, it's permissible, but restricted to certain fingers. So in general, a man's rings should only be on 2 of his fingers, 2 out of 5. That's the pinky and the ring finger.
No.
Middle finger, no. Index finger, no. Thumb, no. There are reasons why. So for argument's sake, I got 2 rings, pinky and ring finger. Like, yeah, okay, right. There's nothing wrong with that. And obviously, things are once again subjective. With regards to men wearing jewelry, we know what the sunnah is concerning jewelry, what type of ring the Prophet wore, what hand did he wear it on, left or right, smallest finger, so on and so forth. And also fashion and psychology. What happens if a man has more than 1 ring on? What does that mean? What does that symbolize? There's nothing wrong with that. But a man shouldn't have on too much jewelry. That's the description and the attribute of
A woman.
the softer side. Man is supposed to be more secure of himself. And you can make a long argument with regards to rap and movies and entertainers. I ain't saying nothing about nobody, but you got so many bracelets and earrings and chains. What is that compensating for? What weakness are you covering up and masking? In which your jewelry has to be the first thing that a person sees and recognizes. Something is off. Versus, I'm not saying it's permissible to wear chains or impermissible. But I'm just saying I just got a what? You know, medallion, 40, you know, whatever. I stop, inshallah. Wallahu a'lam. No question. So yeah, that's khairan. But just don't over what?
Do it.
Overdo it. That's the whole of the story.
That's it for me.
You sure?
Yeah.
Fadal.
So, just to branch off what the brothers were saying about their content, wouldn't it be a good time to give dawah to the brother, or if even if they're Muslim or non-Muslim, would it be a correct time to give them dawah about, you know,
Of
hey,
course.
this is my channel,
Absolutely. You
this
give
how-
dawah directly and
Indirect.
indirectly. Once again, the dress code. So sometimes the dawah is given silently. I ain't gotta say nothing, but the way I'm dressed is what? Dawah. If I can't call no one to Islam, at least I'm repping Islam. Period. Period. I'm the only Muslim on this airplane, or the only Muslim dressed like this. Am I dirty? Am I clean? Am I neat? Do I have a bunch of stains and wrinkles, or do I look and smell and what?
Good.
Clean, crisp. You represent what?
Islam.
That the values of Islam go hand in hand with being presentable and caring about your appearance, etc. You may have the opportunity to give dawah. Someone sitting next to you. Oh, I can tell you how many stories non-Muslims sit next to me on the plane. Wallah, you will be shocked. All walks of life. They will engage you. They will ask you about Islam and what you're reading. You're minding your business. They will engage you. So there's countless opportunities just by you being in the state of Islam and representing Islam. Let alone we collabing with this bodybuilder or this rapper or this influencer or this gangster or whatever. You give Islam indirectly. Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. You teach them the values of Islam. And obviously you say what? We invite you to Islam. Come be a Muslim. Let's do the next shoot at the masjid. So on and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. Rather, that's your obligation. And a Muslim, as we said many times before, should be an opportunist. Muslim has to be an opportunist for hasanat, not worldly gain. You're supposed to be a greedy opportunist for good deeds and calling people to Islam each and every single opportunity. Wallahu a'lam. Even if that isn't done, what?
Verbally.
I can't say nothing right now, and it's too whatever, but at least what?
Represent.
No question about that. They see your name in the passport. Fulan ibn Fulan. Ibn Rahman. You representing something. You understand? Wallahu a'lam.
Taking questions from the audience or anything?
Fadl.
As far as giving dawah, anybody ever took any shahada underneath you? brother?
Oh yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Plenty. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Was strange. And I say strange because we would just sometimes nasheed, sometimes muftis, lectures in the background of our working out, and then sometimes it was just regular working out, and Muslims would DM us and say, you know, I wasn't praying, and we started watching your videos, and you made us like strong. You made us proud to be Muslim, and this is like, we just working out. You know what I'm saying? So it was a blast. You know, I mean, just seeing that, and hearing about like Muslims actually coming back to Allah from calisthenics. You know, and that was one of the purposes of the channel, right? We wanted to halalify.
Absolutely. That's right.
And we didn't find any Muslims that were calisthenic influencers, and we kind of wanted to be the ones that, all right, I could do this and actually keep it halal as possible. You know, and that's what we tried. I mean, that's what we
That's
got.
Hadith Disciple.
No.
There's no doubt about that. Breaking down barriers, right? The Verazano, now, right? Connecting the what?
Bridges.
The boroughs, the people, races. There's no doubt about that. Different styles. So many what?
Stop.
So many styles. That's absolute. There's no question about that. Alhamdulillah. May Allah accept it from you, brothers.
I mean,
To expound upon what you asked, the first example is myself in terms of actions and
I
not
never-
always
I never
just
spoke to him
leading
about
with
Islam.
everything has to be verbal. The two brothers to my right of me, basically based upon their actions, led me to accepting Islam. We know first and foremost Allah makes the Muslims, but these two brothers and their actions led me to accepting Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
yeah, right. I never spoke to him about Islam.
Allahu Akbar.
Never. You know, he used to hear you when I'm listening to, you know what I mean? If we traveling somewhere, I gotta stop. I gotta pray. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And it was this one time. It was a white boy. You know, he was RipRight at the time. He was on the team, and he asked about Islam, and he happened to be there. And I just was explaining to him a little bit, and he was there. And that was the only time that. And then one day, I heard him listening to Mufti. Dreadlocks still, you know, he
Cutting ripsticks.
no,
in
it's
the
still
warehouse.
No, it's still jazz still. Like, yo. And then out of nowhere, subhanAllah, he said, yo, I wanna cut my dreads and I wanna be Muslim.
Allahu Akbar.
SubhanAllah, man.
Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar. May Allah preserve.
Ameen.
Preserve it for everybody.
Ameen.
Jazakumullah
Ameen.
khair. Inshallah, we'll stop here tonight.
Alaikum
Alhamdulillah for everybody tuning in, for watching. Thanks a lot for your love, your respect, peace and blessings to all disciples of all walks of life, with the pen, with the sword, with the suitcase, with the 6-shooter,
Yeah.
calisthenics, right? However you getting it and making it, peace and blessings. Jazakumullah khairan. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Inshallah, so the next time.
Yeah, I had some.
Next week we go now.